We're gonna seal off this movie.
So, do you remember when I said that episode 1 was boring? Well, I guess Einstein was right that everything is relative, because if you compare it to episode 2, then episode 1 is a thrill-a-minute roller coaster ride of emotion and suspense, because episode 2 is so boring. What makes it so bad? Glad you asked. But before I get into it, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and I'll love you forever. So anyway, this episode opens up telling us what happened in Captain Marvel, and then telling us that Fury knew Gavik a long time ago, which is info that we already knew, and in fact, this is a big problem with this episode, telling us stuff that we already know. Then we pick up just moments after the first one left off. Maria Hill is dead, and Fury and Talos escape on a train. Talos disguises himself as a blonde woman for some reason, and Fury disguises himself as a harmonica player in a blues band. And it's at this moment that we do learn something new, that there are 1 million Skrulls on Earth. Obviously, Fury is shocked that Talos would have lied to him about this information, and I'm shocked at how Fury didn't know about it. If it's one man who's going to know the secret dealings of every alien race that encounters Earth, it's going to be Nick Fury, which again just goes to show you how little these writers actually know about the character. We then get introduced to the Skrull Council, which is made up of Skrulls disguised as foreign leaders, like the head of NATO and Shooter McGavin.
I've worked hard my whole life, paid my dues, and now it's Shooter's turn.
Then the Skrull Council decides to elect Gavik, who apparently took lessons from the Dwight Schrute School of Public Speaking, to be in charge of their war against humans. We see Gaia starting to get a little bit suspicious of Gavik's activities, and after some snooping around, she discovers that the scientists are working on a secret project, and they're using the power from the reactor, because I guess nuclear reactors can just be turned back on, in order to power the equipment used to make this weapon. We do get one enjoyable scene, and that's the scene with Rhodey and Fury together. Turns out Rhodey has known about the Skrulls for a very long time. Fury asks him for help, and Rhodey says no. In fact, Rhodey really puts Fury in his place, which is nice to see, because Fury in this show acts like an absolute jerk. He's way too cavalier about this mess that he's made, and expects everyone just to drop everything to help him fix it. And let me just say that in this scene, Don Cheadle has done his best work as Rhodey, which it shouldn't surprise me, because Don Cheadle's a great actor, but the character is used so sparingly that you kind of forget until you get moments like this. But this scene, I think, will probably be the standout of the entire series. Oh, the Skrull that helped plant the bomb in the first episode got captured and is being interrogated. He gives up that they're using scientists to make Skrulls stronger. You know, I wonder what he could be talking about. Oh well. Then Gavik and crew pretend to rescue him, but they end up killing him. So far, the show is just painfully predictable. This whole episode, I felt like a Jedi because I knew what was going to happen before it happened. And, like I mentioned before, it has a big problem with restating things that we already know. We already knew what happened in Captain Marvel because, unfortunately, we saw Captain Marvel. They show us again that Fury knew Gavik a long time ago, even though we already knew that. They keep telling us that Fury made a promise he didn't keep, which we already knew. Gavik was building a weapon. We already knew that. Samuel L. Jackson loves the color purple. We already knew that. In fact, if you watch the trailer of this show, you actually already know what the big reveal is at the end. That is, if you know what you're looking for, you know, if you've read a comic. Spending so much time re-establishing motivation for every character, and then re-establishing how every other character feels about those motivations, is really dragging the series down. But I imagine that's because this MCU show, just like all the other MCU shows, only has about 4 episodes worth of actual material, so they're padding this out as much as they can in order to get those 6 episodes. So to sum it all up, I guess, if the first episode was putting me to sleep, this episode has got me in a coma. Well, that's it for this one, folks. Have you seen episode 2 of Secret Invasion? How do you feel about it? Leave a comment below and let me know. As always, thanks so much for being here, and oh yeah, Nick Fury is married to a Skrull. Bye!